Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome to my channel. This is not really the normal thing that I do here. Today I am going to do a houseplant kind of collection tour. I should point out that when I set this video up, I didn't realize it before. I think I have like almost 50 plants. I definitely have over 40 plants, but I don't know. I've got a surprising amount. I didn't think that I had that many, but I'm proud of myself and surprised. I am not a houseplant expert or master. I've just always loved having a garden or growing plants or having, I don't know, there's just something about growing plants, and if you like plants and you're a plant person, then you get it, and if you're not, then maybe this will inspire you to get a plant, because they're really cool. I really like pretty much all of the plants that I have. I'm really happy with my selection. Some of them I brought back from California. I don't know, can I say that? So they're all from Montana. I guess let's just get into my plants. I don't even know where to start, honestly. So let me just start by saying I am really bad with succulents. I know succulents are supposed to be super easy to grow, but I am one of those people who plays with their bra all the time. I overwater things. I just do. So I've killed a lot of succulents that I've had, but I have some that have survived, and I'm very proud of them. I don't have many, but I have some. So here's one. This is one of my, I guess, kind of first succulents that I got. It's pretty. It looks like a flower. I like that one. These are two new succulents that I just got, and this I know is a Haworthia. This one I do not know the name of, which you're going to hear from me a few times today, and I'm sorry. Yeah. But these are two succulents that I just recently got. They were like $3 each, so I couldn't pass them up. I'm really gonna try to keep them alive. I think I mostly just struggle with like little baby succulents. Whatever. This is my aloe, and here is the demonstration of me and what I do to things, because I am a bull in a china shop. And when I was setting up this video, I damaged another one of my succulents. I also messed up this leaf. I like crushed it completely when I transplanted it into this pot and put these rocks in here for decor purposes only. Oh jeez. I don't know why I cannot be a delicate woman. This is a snake plant. It's in front of me, and I want to move it out of the way, so I'm going to talk about this now. I buy a lot of plants that are like damaged, are on sale. This plant store that I really like, in particular that I go to, they, I guess, like plants that are sick or unhealthy or whatever, they will trim them back and sell them for like between $5 and $20. So I have a number of rescues that I just kind of consider little love projects. But they were also like really good deals, so I can't say no to a good deal, apparently. Anyway, this one is doing really well, and it seems to be really happy. It's actually growing a new sprout. I don't know what this is actually called, so I don't want to call that the wrong thing. But it seems to be pretty happy. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this side. Hopefully something. But yeah. I really like this plant so far. This is my first snake plant, and oh, they're supposed to be really easy to grow in most light conditions, which is good because you can put them anywhere pretty much. Don't require a lot of water, and they're also really good at cleaning the air, which is really what I wanted to accomplish by starting all of this, because it's very cold where I live for 8+ months of the year, so you don't have your windows open typically when it's 30 degrees outside. So there's a lot of, you know, stuffiness and dust and stuff that builds up when you don't really get to open your windows very much, and I was just trying to clean that out. So anyway, that is irrelevant to the plant haul. Let's move on. Shut up. Stop talking so much. this is going to be an hour-long video. But anybody who watches plant tours and plant hauls will be very excited about that. There are also a lot of little baby plants that I buy, especially at this one store. They just have like this section of like tiny little plants that are $3 or $4, and I just can't help myself even when I don't know what they are. So I bought a number of plants that I don't actually know what they are until they start growing, or I spend a decent amount of time, like hours of time, on Google trying to figure out what they are. But this I figured out is a Ponytail Palm, which I'm very, very excited about. I'm stoked because I like knew it was a palm tree, obviously, but I'm like so happy that it's a Ponytail Palm because those are really, really cool. It's supposed to be really easy to grow. This one actually has 3 heads. I don't know what that's called, but you know, they can have like 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know if they ever have more than 3, but this one has 3. So it's grown so well, or grown pretty well so far. I haven't really watered it most of the time that I've had it, and I just watered it yesterday or the day before, and I finished killing one of the succulents. This rotted out stem right here was a succulent that it was trying to come back to life that I had already overwatered, and it just couldn't take that drink. So I thought that the soil felt completely dry to me, so maybe it was just gonna die anyway. These are very new. I just got these the other day because they were so cute, and I was getting some herbs at this other garden store, and this one is just really interesting because it's not prickly, which I like. I don't want a whole bunch of like not toxic, but like violent, dangerous plants. I do have animals, and even though a lot of my plants are poisonous, whatever. It's stupid. Anyway, this one is like fuzzy, so it doesn't hurt when you touch it, but the things do come off in your finger. Anyway, another thing I will say too about plants, if you like plants, or if you're new to plants, or I don't know if this will help you at all, but I am a huge fan of thrift stores in general for things, but especially for pottery or pots, or like if you're doing outdoor gardening, here we go with the words again. If you're doing any outdoor gardening and you don't really care what they look like, I mean, you know, you're pretty much always going to find what you're looking for if you have a store with an outdoor selection. But yeah, I typically have really good luck, and pretty much all of my pots are from thrift stores or painted. So yeah, I highly, highly recommend at least just browsing to look, because you can find good deals. Anyway, these are 2 pots that I just got. Speaking of, 2 pots that I just got the other day from the thrift store that were actually on sale at the thrift store, and so they're like handmade pottery, beautiful handmade pottery, and these were $1 each. So always check thrift stores. Hopefully I do not overwater these. These are gonna kind of be my gauge on taking care of my succulents, I think, because I've got to figure this out. I can't keep killing everything. Oh, speaking of succulents, I have more that I forgot to show you. These I also just got. This basket is very large, and it didn't seem so large because I got it at the thrift store and I couldn't tell. But these plants are both succulents. Oh, this plant is so wet. I need to put this back outside to dry out. But I just thought they were really cute. This one is called a flower dust plant. I still have the tag right here. This one is a flower dust plant, and it has these kind of silvery, purpley leaves that, I don't know, they kind of look like, I don't know, little feathers or something. I just thought it was really pretty. And they're kind of soft and velvety. And on this side, they're like little rosettes, and I don't know if you can see the color all because the sun is like in and out of clouds— right now. So, but it's like kind of this like magenta, dark green. I don't know what my camera's doing right now. So here's an example of what I tend to do to succulents. This plant has come back to life so many times, and I'm just not gonna give up on it, and it's not giving up on me. Something else is growing in here that I just saw. I don't know what that is. But there is a tiny sign of life just holding on and surviving somehow in the middle there. I don't know why I'm so bad with succulents. I think some people just no problem, other people really struggle. I'm one of those people that just really struggles. Here's another plant that's holding on for dear life that I don't know what. I think I didn't have this plant in enough light is what I'm guessing, because it has just, it's not my prettiest. It was quite a bit more full when I purchased it, but it looks like it's coming back to life. The leaves look like they're getting kind of strong again. This is a curly lipstick plant. If anybody is familiar with curly lipstick plants, please give me your tips. I've watched lots of videos and researched a lot about it. So I feel like I'm doing everything that I can. I just moved it into like a much more sunny location where I feel like it will do better, which I don't know, I'm really bummed out because I was so excited about this plant. These look really, really cool when they get nice and full and big and beautiful, which judging by this is gonna be a couple of years for me, which it sucks because I really was excited about this plant. So hopefully it lives. Wish it luck. Here's another curly plant that I have. This is my curly spider plant. Another plant that I'm super excited about, and I don't know, I like didn't have it in, I think, in the right light, or I wasn't misting it enough, or I'm not sure. I mean, I think it was, you know, not like in super awesome condition when I first bought it, so I don't know. But I moved it right kind of outside of the window, and it's just like taken off kind of, and I'm super excited about this one too because these look really, really cool. I don't know if you know about spider plants at all, but they kind of grow like a big bush, and curly spider plants, a lot of their leaves curl like ribbons on a package, which I think look really cool. They kind of spiral all around each other, and spider leaves shoot out little spiderettes that are like little baby plants that kind of dangle down, and they look like little spiders, and so that's why they're called spider plants. So just to give you an idea, this is my bigger lipstick plants. And this one, I cannot tell you how much I love this plant, but this was another rescue actually that quite a lot of this plant was trimmed off and trimmed down. These were all kind of trimmed back, and this was, I think, $15 or $20. Another plant that I just really wanted a window plant, and so I couldn't say no to bringing it home and just kind of like salvaging it and helping it live a long and happy life, and it seems to be doing that. So yeah. It kind of didn't do anything for a little while. I should stop messing with it. This is how I ruin everything. Stop it! So, it didn't really do anything for a while. It just kind of like hung out, and the branches sort of started lifting, and then all of these little shoots started growing off, and then the branches like just kept lifting up more and more, and then these started kind of growing up. And so the plant, I don't know, it's just starting to grow up, which is nice. I feel like that's a sign that it's very happy and healthy where it is, and it has like all this new growth inside. So this is what I was kind of hoping for my curly lipstick plant, and I don't know why I've been able to take such good care of this one and kill the other one pretty much. Probably has just to do with the lighting, honestly. It's usually comes down to water and lighting, and we just screw that up, and it's like just a thing that happens in nature, and we somehow mess it all up. So this is a plant that I don't know how I feel about this plant. I don't know really, I'm not really sure how this is gonna look because the colors of the leaves really all depend on how much light you expose it to. And it hasn't been in its new location for that long, so I don't know if it's gonna end up being like a really white plant or a really green plant, or I don't know. I don't know what this plant's future is. This may end up being a gift for someone in the future if I'm just not digging it. But it's a nice contrast, so because you know you've got like all this dark green. I like really green plants, so this is like a nice kind of different color. This was another rescue that I'm not sure how this thing is doing or what's really going on. It looks like I've got some, I can't show you, I know I can't show you, but it looks like I've got some growth down, like down there, but I'm not 100% sure what it is. It could be something that fell in there at the nursery. I'm hoping it's more of this plant. This I think I got for $10. Was not in very good condition when I got it, and it seems to have grown. This is a curly, did I say that? I don't know if I said that. This is a curly orchid cactus, I think is what it's called. And these look really cool when they grow. It does not look that cool right now, but when they fill in, they look just like really interesting. And this is another trailing plant that kind of hangs down, and it's like these weird like ribbony dangly things that are, I don't know, it's like weird dangles. And they also, like at the tips, they get these really pretty flowers. So that's not going to happen to this plant for a while, but in the future it will. If you can see the leaves, if you can see the leaves, they're like this weird curly flat, I don't know, and like it's really kind of hard to tell how this plant actually grows. So this is another Peperomia. I don't remember what kind this is, and this was another like salvage plant, kind of a rescue. I think I got this for $5, maybe $8, I'm not sure. But I had it in just not the right sunlight for a long time, and I'm trying to kind of prop these up because I think this is supposed to be a little bit more supported. Like that. Anyway, not a trailing plant, but it's finally starting to get some new growth on the ends of it, and I don't know, it's just finally starting to show that it doesn't hate being in my house, which is cool. I was really starting to feel bad and wonder what the heck I was doing wrong, but I think it just wasn't getting enough sun where it was, and I don't know, seems to be liking its new spot. So these are two Peperomia. I haven't done a lot with Peperomia before. It's kind of new to me, but it's supposed to be really easy to grow, and they're kind of like, some of them can be a little bit more like a succulent and some of them can be a little bit more like a house plant, and so you kind of have to, I don't know, just like gauge kind of what type of plant they are to determine their needs. But they're generally pretty easy to take care of. Just don't want to be extremely dry, decent sun exposure. These seem to be doing a lot better with a good amount of sun. This one I had for a long time in like a shadier spot, and it just wasn't really growing. It's sprouted out a lot of these little baby leaves, but it hasn't really gotten big or like filled in. It has shot up this little spike, which is I think kind of a general characteristic of Peperomia, to have kind of a flower spike that hangs around, which is really cool and I thought was really interesting. But when these leaves get big, they look really nice and pretty, and I don't know, I really want a watermelon Peperomia too. So if I see one of those, I thought that's what that was when it caught my eye, because the leaves kind of almost look like they have white on them, but it wasn't, so I'm gonna have to buy one of those next too. This is a happy bean. And I'm actually propagating, or attempting to propagate, a succulent down there that hasn't died yet, so I'm hopeful. This plant is really cool. I just think it looks like green beans, and they have like, I forget the name of this variety, but it has like this green stripe going down the middle that almost looks like it's kind of hollow or something, but it's a really pretty color, and when this gets bigger it will look very interesting and cool. So I don't know, it just looks like green beans and it's different, so I like it. My beauty, one of my beauties. I do not remember the name of this plant, so I'm sorry. I think you can try to Google it. Maybe I can Google it, and if I can figure it out, I'll put it down below. But I believe it is relatively new to nurseries and kind of cultivation or whatever, especially in America. I think it originated in Brazil or Colombia, and it starts with a C, and it is a short word, so if you can try to figure it out based on that. But even when I had the name of it and I looked it up, I think I freaking tore the tag off like an idiot. But even when I had the name of it, I found like 2 articles on it, so I don't have a lot of information. I just know that it likes pretty bright sun. It has just done really, really well. I think this was actually another salvage that I got for like $15 or something, because it had like a whole side of it missing, and like one of the leaves I ended up having to cut off because it was like only half of it was there and just looked terrible, and I don't know, just trying to make it look nice and healthy and pretty. And it seems to have just done really well. It's shot up a whole bunch of new leaves, and then I'm not entirely sure what these flowers are going to look like when they bloom, because there's, again, not a whole lot of information on this plant that I could find, but I don't know, I'm very excited. I think it's so pretty. The leaves have like, I don't know if you can see it, I'm trying to be careful, but the leaves have like these little hairs. And this is, again, like a tropical plant, so I mist it a lot, at least once a day, and keep it moist, keep it in a fairly sunny spot. Yeah, I love this plant, and I don't know what it is. Sorry. This is actually another one of those little baby plants that I didn't know what it was for a long time, and I just figured out that this is a baby coffee tree, which is really cool. Yeah, I had no idea what that was for like months. Okay, so now my ferns. These are 2 of my newest ferns and also 2 of my favorites. This one, I don't know the names of either of these, I'm sorry, but this one I just love. This is like one of my favorite plants in my house. It just is, it's so pretty. This is another fern that I just thought was so pretty. The leaves are just like really, I don't know, they grow in like this really interesting, pretty way, and it's like this nice pretty color of green. Ferns are also very good for cleaning the air. So if you're looking for a plant to do that, I do recommend ferns, although they can be a little bit more tricky to take care of because these do like to stay moist. They don't like to get dry, and I actually will show you a couple of mine I let get a little bit too dry just because I didn't realize that the soil wasn't that wet. This one has been kind of struggling for a little bit, but it's finally starting to grow and get happy again. I don't know what kind of fern this is, but I think the leaves are gonna look really cool when they grow. I try to walk around the plant shop and like look at the bigger plants to compare and see if I can figure out what my smaller plants are. This is a blue star fern. This one was another one that I don't think I was taking as good of care of as I should have. It wasn't in enough light. That side of it looks terrible. This side looks a little bit healthier. But it seems to be doing a lot better now. It's starting to send up a lot of new little shoots that are not brown, which is good. So I think this one is doing better, and I expect this one to grow a decent amount, hopefully this season. I think this is a rabbitfoot fern. That's what I heard someone else call a plant that looked like this, so that's what I'm going to call this, rabbitfoot fern. This is another one that I don't think I was taking as good of care of as I should have, because it is finally starting to grow in, but it just took forever for this thing to like grow. It was like so spindly and tiny little sad looking leaves, but it's finally starting to get better. And I don't know, this one is just like super delicate and pretty. Like, these leaves are a little bit more feathery, I think, than some of the others. So these are some of my ferns that are doing better, and I think this is a Boston fern. One of them, I think this one. But these two seem to be just loving where they are. This one, I think I wasn't getting this misted well enough because that kind of dried out, but for the most part, both of these plants have done really well. They keep shooting up lots of new growth, so I'm assuming that they're happy. Again, just like all the other ferns, I mist these at least once a day, every day that I can, and they are doing fine, so I hope that that continues. This is another fern that I was not taking as good of care of as I should have, and I'm finally, I let it dry out way too much that I didn't realize, because this is kind of in like a corner spot, which I'm bummed out about because I really like this fern. I thought it was a maidenhair when I bought it, and it's not. Yeah, I don't know. So this one is, again, kind of finally starting to shoot up some new growth that is green, and it's not dried out or brown. So I think it's improving. Its mood is lifting. This is another fern. Don't know the name of this fern, but I just thought this was really pretty. It's got some white kind of variegation on the leaves, and this one gets kind of like nice and big and bushy. So I just like, ferns remind me of just walking through the forest. I'm sure they remind everyone of that, but I love them because of that. On to the next. Oh, Jesus. I'm like surrounded by all of my plants. I can't move. I've quarantined myself. This is one of my new absolute favorite varieties of plants, and good possibility I'm gonna end up buying more of these guys because they're doing so well. This was another rescue that I got at the same time as the one I will show you in a second. And this one kind of didn't do very much for a little bit. It just kind of hung out, but it's finally started to sprout more leaves, and it's shooting up more, as you can see. This one has like really pretty like kind of different green variegation on the leaves, and then like darker red on a lot of the newer leaves. So and that's like almost actually like black. I don't know, they're all different colors, which I think this is a really cool one. This is not my favorite prayer plant yet. Shh, I shouldn't tell you that. I love you. Sorry. But for some reason these plants have been doing really well in my house, so I'm very happy with it. Both of my prayer plants I kind of moved to a different spot on the shelves because I think they were getting too much sunlight where they were. They do like to be moist, and I do mist them every day because they like to be moist, but they're so cool. And these plants are plants, I guess, in the category of plants that move, and so this is kind of why they're called prayer plants. But during the day they tend to put their leaves down, and you can see these leaves are kind of most of them are hanging down, and then at night they lift their leaves up, and it's crazy. Like the bigger one that I'll show you in a second looks wild at night. First week or so that I had the plant, I thought I was seeing things, or just like wasn't really sure what the heck was going on, because I didn't understand why my plant appeared to be moving. I wasn't sure if I was like not giving it enough water or something, but that's just how the plant is. This is one that I think I may have overwatered this one, I'm guessing, because the tips are starting to turn brown. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it's not getting enough light, so I might move it. Actually, I probably shouldn't move it. I think I'm actually going to move it because I don't think it's getting enough light where it is either. This is called a Thistle plant. It's really actually called a Thistle plant, and it's kind of like a succulent, or in the succulent family, and I watered it when I got it because it was really dry and I didn't know when it had been watered last, but I think it's just like got too much water hanging around in there, and it's not loving it. It's not dying, it's not miserable, but it's not loving life, and it's definitely not shooting up any new growth, which maybe it doesn't do that when it's about to bloom, which is like another reason that I got it, because I just love flowers. And these smell like, I don't know, they're like a spicy vanilla kind of scent. So, and it's like, I mean, it's still shooting up more flowers, so I think it's not awful. This is my pothos, which is not that impressive. This is one of the succulents that I was telling you about that I've actually been able to keep alive somehow, but I don't know, somehow it is still alive. This is the prayer plant that I was talking about. The lighting is so bad in here that I cannot get a good shot of this right now, but yeah, this is like my favorite plant out of everything, I think. It's just got so much new growth. It will not stop freaking growing. And this one just looks crazy at night when it lifts its leaves up. And it's like a trailing plant, so it's kind of taking over, but I'm not really complaining about that. This is my Philodendron that I bought kind of by accident. I didn't realize that it was a Philodendron when I bought it. Can't really see, but it wasn't really doing very much. It wasn't really doing very much for a while, but it seems to finally be growing a decent amount. And these are my air plants. So that is it for my plant haul. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys are into plants, or if you have any comments about anything. I do kind of want to do an update. I thought that would be fun in a couple months, just to kind of compare how things look, because I want to do that because I love my plants. And I know that there are other people that love plants too. So, yeah. Please remember to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want more updates from me. This is, again, not the normal kind of stuff that I do here, but who knows what normal is and what that's going to be in the future. You can find me at Simple Care Stuff on social media if you want to. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.